play some very esoteric music on this program, and that's an interesting one as well. Dynamite by Patricios. All right for some, I suppose. I don't know that it is for me. Now, on top of all I think, in case I forget it, one thing that I must say is, and I had a lovely compliment from my daughter the other morning. She sent a little note. She lives in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, and she sent a little note saying, Dad, your program is great for me to walk to. And for her, that was quite a compliment. So I thank you, darling, for using me to walk to, and I hope that you'll keep on listening. But you increase the figures by 100%. That's great stuff. But I lived for 15 years in Northern Ireland and worked for 15 years in Northern Ireland as journalist and a communicator. And one of the people that I came across there was John Hume. And John Hume was one of the sensible people. He seemed to show no resentment that he was arrested very early on in the Troubles for just being around. But he turned into a first-class politician, a man of common sense, at a time when common sense was going out through the window and bombs were coming in through it. And sorry to see that he died. I think he was 84, just a little bit older than me. But I can remember having 2 or 3 conversations with him, and a very thoughtful man he was. I'm sorry that one of the giants of that bad period between 1970 and 1990 in Northern Ireland has lost one of the footprints that tried hard to ease the tensions and come up with a workable solution. John Hume. Okay, let's happier note. We are starting to introduce into the wild again various wild animals. Now, farmers aren't too keen on that because in some places they've reintroduced the wolf. And the wolf, when he comes across a pack of cows, doesn't sort of say, well, these belong to somebody else. He decides to make a meal of it. And it's easy to see why the reintroduction of wild animals into Britain can be controversial. But nonetheless, if you've lived in a country that is full of wild animals, such as Canada, which I have, and you've got used to having bears as neighbours, and beavers in the pond, and otters swimming around all over the place, and moose wandering onto the highway, you really feel a lack of empathy when you come down to, God bless them, foxes and badgers and so on. Although never denigrate the badger. Mr. Badger in Wind in the Willows is a very, very fine character. At one time I almost played him on radio, Mr. Badger. He's a colleague and friend did a scenario and he had Mr. Badger in it, and he phoned me and he said, I've always seen you as Mr. Badger. I'd like you to play it if this ever comes to fruition. Well, it never did, unfortunately. But anyway, badgers are all right. As Mole and Ratty would say, badgers are special. The squirrels and the weasels, they're okay, but the badgers are special. Anyway, we have introduced, apparently, wild beavers back into the streams and lakes of Britain, and it's working very well. They seem to be thriving. And, of course, those people who find that they impinge upon our civilization, 4 brick walls, a garden the size of a postage stamp, don't like things like that. But I'm glad that we are reintroducing, on a cautious level, the animals that did flourish here until we hunted them out of extinction, sometimes 200 years ago, 300 years ago. But we're very good at making things extinct, and we're doing it with butterflies and bees and all sorts of things at the moment. Oh, yeah. We march about the wrongs and the ills of 200 years ago, but nobody gets excited about the ills and the evils that we perpetrate today. Oh, goodness me, no. Somebody might criticize us. Idiots. I'm sorry. I'm having to go at everybody this morning, and it's wonderful. Oh, dear. Let's try another. Let's see if we can hit something this morning that is says all right. This is Stay Loose. Let's have a go at that. Well, that was a little better, wasn't it? I quite enjoyed that. That's No Clarity by Stay Loose. And we'll stay loose. It's, what time is it? Oh, it's 06:55. It's 5:27 in Lewes, in East Sussex, in the United Kingdom. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Rouser Radio, part of the Mirador Television Group. Mirador Television, miradortelevision.com. A bit of fun. Once again, some people say weird, we say esoteric, quirky, but give it a go. Give it a go, because, and particularly give it a go in September when we relaunch the programs. some more interesting things involving lots of local people in Lewis, but also we have our team in the United States, Suzanne Mouchot, who is a first-class architect, but also a great communicator, and takes us through the architecture of New York. And there is Melissa Conti, who was my co-host, or at least I was her co-host, if you like, during the 90s in the States with the PBS program Morning and Nightly Business Reports, daily coast to coast, 8 million viewers or so. Well, that's okay. Nobody gets too excited about that. It'll put us well up the league in the UK. And so Melissa, who lives in New York and keeps up the broadcasting bit with Mirador. We've got all sorts of people in this country, both from Lewis and around the country. We are expecting to get a couple in the new schedule from Kosovo, would you believe, and other points outside the United Kingdom. So, worthwhile having a little go. 27 minutes we've been going, not much longer. Now, just let me say in this hot weather, one of the great delights has been sitting outside in the pubs. I go to the Rights of Man and sit out on the pavement. Well, it's a sort of a little a shaded area that they've got. Or you can sit on their terrace roof. And everybody is absolutely superb. Social distancing is kept. The food and the drink is fine. I've actually enjoyed the 10% or 50% off or whatever it is that the government is giving us these last few days. And it's very nice to have a bill that is affordable. For a couple of glasses of wine, a slice of bread. So the Rights of Man, I went to Fuego last night for a quick drink outside, which is more of a bar, really. It tries hard to be sort of continental bar, God bless it. And I sat outside the John Harvey Tavern on Sunday. My favourite, the Brewer's Arms, has not yet opened, although it is supposed to open sometime early this month. So let's hope that next time I walk up, I will be pleasantly surprised and find that the Brewers is back in business, and several others are. At one time we had 63 pubs in Lewis and 17 breweries. We've now got one brewery and about 16 pubs. So let's hang on to every last pub that we've got, because we must be one of the few towns in England where every pub here is a delight to go into. Every pub. They are all decent pubs. All well managed, all well run, all worthwhile going into and having a drink and a bit of companionship. All right, well, I'm sorry, it's 6:59 and we've got to go in a minute, so let's just choose what we'll go out with today. Shall we go out with Ben Sound, or shall we go out with I don't know. Let's yeah, I can't help it. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I just got to do it. If I can find it now. Here we go. The lady that kept us going during the war, she can see us out this morning. Keith Hayes, Rouser Radio. Have a very good day. Don't burn yourself to a crisp. And let's say, along with Rose Rose, love you.